It needs a second, apparently.
Milton, you start, okay? Yeah.
Sure. Cool. We're good to go, Brent?
And we are live, yes.
All right. Well, welcome to the USBF trials. In the last set of the round of 16 to decide the USA 2 team for 2023. My name's Liam. I'm from Australia, and I'm joined from by Sataj Khan, who's also from Australia. Some of you will know our names. We post on Bridge Winners sometimes. We come and play in the US Nationals. And yeah, we're familiar with all of the players that we're watching today in this match, Bramley versus Sherrison.
Yeah, hi everyone. And in fact, many of these players are our friends. So it'll be quite exciting to watch this match.
That's right. Yeah, I recently teamed up with Bart, Kit, Brian, and Kevin over in New Orleans a month ago. So if I sound biased at any point, I apologize. So it looks like a quick precision auction to Reno Trumps in the closed room.
So in the closed room, which is the screen on the right, on a heart lead, declarer will try to sneak a spade past the ace. And North has to find the strong play of rising with the ace of spades and switching to diamonds.
That's right. Do you think Bart Bramley will try and sneak past South's ace or North's ace?
That's a good point. Perhaps a low spade towards the queen is more likely to sneak past rather than a spade towards the king. Yeah, I think, yep, good prediction, Liam.
Yeah, one of the reasons why I thought he was going to play from his hand, which obviously isn't ideal on this layout, it's more has the ace, but you know, how would he know that? Is that if he wanted to go past North's ace, he would have to have cross to the dummy, which might give away a position. Like if he plays a club to the ace, both the opponents get to follow suit and play a card, which might have some signal, you know, maybe suit preference. And it also possibly signals if they're strong in clubs because he's not taking any finesses. So we'll see whether Debbie Rosenberg will win her ace, and if she does, whether she'll play a diamond. And if she doesn't, then McLaren has 9 tricks. And the other table, they're trying to sneak past North's ace, which looks like they've done.
Right.
Except that he doesn't have a second heart trick.
Yeah.
So Don McAllister is trying to feign like he's weak in hearts or something. Yes. Trying to make it more appealing for North to continue hearts when they get in.
Yes. So in the open room, that's the screen on the left. Kevin's had a chance to signal with his spades. A lot of people play conventions like Smith Echo or reverse Smith Echo or suit preference to send partner a message. Which one do you like, Liam?
I've played both of them. I actually have played one regularly with Andy Hung and one with James Coots, my 2 regular partners. And yeah, I've found that suit preference seems to work better just because a lot of the time it seems like the Smith signal is not super relevant. I know that Bart is a big advocate for not playing Smith Echo.
Right.
Yeah, I was just going to say Bart and Kit, with all of the suit preference that they have, do not play Smith.
Yeah. Yeah, I often find that the layout of the opening lead suit is more or less clear quite early on. Therefore, telling partner again that we don't like their lead, or again that we like their lead, should be useful. So less frequent than telling partner which suit you prefer them to switch to. What do you think, Satosh?
I don't have strong opinions, but I have been playing just suit preference for a while now. The one thing I like about Smith is that when it matters, partner signals very clear. You know, high, let's say you play reverse Smith. So low means you like the opening lead. So low, you know, partner plays the 2, you always know it means they like it. And if partner plays a 9, you always know they don't like the suit of the opening lead. The problem I find with suit preference a few times is that sometimes you don't know whether there are 2 suits in play or 3 suits in play. And partner makes a signal and it's not totally clear which suit is he referring to.
Yeah, that's a good
Or
point.
actually, there's some pairs that actually split the difference. They have opening leader use one form of Smith and third hand play a different.
That's actually what I play.
So
Yeah, I play that currently with my partner James in Australia, and both, yeah, high from one hand says they like it, and high from the other hand says they don't like it. I don't know what it's called. I think Satad used to play that, maybe. Did you play that with Tony?
hybrid.
No, we used to play something else. We used to play high by either says something unusual is going on.
Right.
Which I guess effectively it means high by the opening leader says he's got a strong, yeah, it usually comes down to that thing. Yeah, but it's not always.
No, yeah. So high by the opening leader says, you know, this is the unusual case where I prefer you didn't return my suit. But I guess one of the benefits of playing that method is that most of the time both of you are following low, which is quite good. You know, end up giving away a trick when you follow suit with a spot card. And you end up with also perhaps less ethical situations where you have to, you know, work out whether you can afford the spot card or not. Anyway, back to the bridge. So what's going on here? Looks like both tables are going to be playing in 4 spades pretty soon.
Yes, you can make 12 tricks and, you know, as the Polish would say, win a slam if you get the spades right. But the percentage plays to play a spade towards one of the honors, and if it loses to the ace, to play a spade to the other honor on the next round.
For some reason, it feels appealing to me to do what John's just done, just play a spade to the queen and the dummy. I don't know why, rather than playing a spade to the king. Generally, just keeping the honors, I guess, with the long suit. But it's probably going to be either a flat board or one in. Which, yeah, the margin at the moment, and there's 15 boards to play in the set, so Sherrison has a bit of work to do, but certainly not out of the question that they could stage some sort of comeback here.
I'm just wondering if the most accurate, I'm not saying it is to play spade to the queen and then try the hearts. Because if spade to the queen, spade to, and ducking a spade loses and hearts of 5-1, they can pull all of your trumps, tap you, and you end up with 4 spades, 3 hearts, and 2 clubs, only 9 tricks. Yeah, so you make 3 high spades, a rough and dummy, 3 hearts, and 2 clubs. So probably the most accurate way is to play spade to the queen and then take 2 rounds of hearts, and then decide on playing spades again.
Right, yeah, so if you play a spade to the queen and then everything is bad, go down and play a second spade.
Is that right? Is my analysis correct? I'm not sure, Liam. It just felt like it. So 3, 4,
we're losing
7.
2 spades.
Yeah.
We make 3 in our hand, 1 rough and dummies 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. If there's no long heart setting up and you're just getting to rough one of your heart losers, you're still left with 2 spade losers, a heart loser, and a club loser. So yeah.
Oh, Bart's done the same. He's played spade to the king and started spades after that. Rising.
Well, he's played a spade.
Oh, his first round of
Because
spades lost. Right.
it lost, yeah, so a bit different.
So he's always safe to play a second spade, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because they can't draw the third one, and he can now start the hearts, and that now the risk of the third round of trumps drawn is not there. So I imagine that if it had gone spade to the king, he would have at least thought about not playing another spade. Bit of balancing action going on in the open room, the table on the left. I think John McAllister was about to double two spades. I don't know how that was going to go. It doesn't look like a super comfortable contract, but Will Watson has bid three hearts in front of him. Not totally unreasonably, I don't think, with this spade. What do you think, Sataj, about this option on the left?
Well, it kind of depends on what redouble means, you know. Some people like it to show just, you know, a very good two-heart bid, so it kind of encourages partner to act. Whereas some might play it more as, you know, I have a penalty interest, which often seems to be the same thing, but there is a bit of a difference. I think I had a misunderstanding on this matter playing with some very good player recently, and I can't remember what it was. Yeah, I remember it now. Anyway, so he's bid three hearts. He roughs a few tricks here and there. Looks like he'll make five hearts, a few diamonds. So with seven tricks in the bag and two hearts to come, three hearts will make. On the spade, he will pitch a club, and maybe he is trying to score all three.
The fence gives him a club ruck now. He'll be able to make another trump, but they clearly South can just play a trump, or even king of clubs, club to the ace, jack of clubs, South can ruck with the 10 anyway. So it doesn't seem like there's much danger of her making anything more than three hearts.
Yeah.
And on board number 2, we had a flat board with 11 tricks. So margin's still 39 imps. Both tables seem to be playing pretty quickly so far. I guess the hands have not been too difficult, but yeah, definitely last set of a trials knockout match. You know, you might expect this play to slow down at some point. Do you ever consider making a limit raise on the east hand, Sataj, or would you be quite happy playing?
I would show. I think the east. I would make it. I would show a limit raise for sure.
Yeah, two aces, a singleton. This hand seems too good for a two-heart bid. Even if you're playing constructive raises, which is quite popular these days, that raising one heart to two hearts or one spade to two spades shows more like 7 to 10. I mean, this feels like more than 10 to me.
Yes, I agree. And looks like Bart has done just that. 2-no trump, which is often played by precision pairs as limit plus with a heart fit. This means they will get to game, so they will be more at stake.
Yeah, they will get to game. I can't imagine that Kit will be bidding anything but a game acceptance. And yeah, so he'll stand to win 10 imps if he makes this, and lose 6 imps if he goes one down. What are his chances of making 4 hearts here? I mean, it was very quick play in the other room without much at stake, and probably pretty likely to make 3 hearts, but I imagine he'll think about his options here.
Yeah, if he starts playing the way we saw the play in the open room, that would mean he roughs 3 diamonds, including one with the ace of hearts. So it's not clear how you score your 10th trick then. You score 4 hearts in hand, 4 total diamonds, and the ace of spades is only 9. Whereas if you take a diamond finesse you make,
Yeah, diamond
I know we're looking
finesse.
at the hands, but I wonder, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to see what the chance of making it is if you don't take the diamond finesse, because you'll need to score all of your little trumps by roughing in your hand, which means that first of all, you'll need north to have spade link. And second, you'll need to not run into a trump promotion. And yeah, that seems less likely to me than just looking at diamonds being on side.
There's another chance. Another chance is, I know it doesn't work, is to try to combine the short king of diamonds with setting up the long spade. So you rough a spade. Okay, no, he hasn't. He's just playing a diamond to the queen. Kit goes for the simple and solid line. I was thinking about ace of spades, spade rough, ace of diamonds, diamond rough, spade rough, diamond rough. And now if the diamond king has come down, no, you might still run into, so that's not a very good line. It's just something.
You can't get back to your hand.
Yeah.
But once you've
Even
got
if it's
2
short.
diamonds, because you're down to the bare ace of hearts, you've got no way to get back without running into the same trump promotion issue with the spades. So he's in good shape now. He's just going to need. Yeah, but he's not going to run into a trump promotion this time. If South had had 10 doubleton of hearts or jack doubleton of hearts, plus no, both opponents still have a spade, so he's only roughed once in his hand, so he's safe to rough the 3rd round low. He needed a bit, but he got it. So yeah, this will extend the margin by another 10 imps vulnerable game swing. So Bramley will be extending their lead to 49 imps with 12 boards to score. And meanwhile, what's happening in the open room, or South playing a spade partial, looks like North's shown some sort of invitational hand with spades. What do you think of the 1-0 trump opening on the South end there? It's a touch. I guess for both pairs, it's in range for their strength. Even if 15 to 17 is definitely strong enough to count as 15 points. A big problem of opening 1 diamond and then rebidding 2 clubs and being too strong.
Liam, I'll be back in 5 minutes. I just have to make a call.
No worries. So it looks like Debbie Rosenberg doesn't have the same convention available that Brian Platnick did. So Brian's plan on the in the closed room was to bid Stamen and then go 2 spades, which historically would have meant 5 spades, 4 hearts, weak hand. But these days, many players play as around 5 spades and invitational strength, like a Shapley type hand. The hand that will benefit from a spade bit. Debbie's taking a different route. She's transferring and bidding 2-0 trumps, classical methods, showing invitational strength a different way. Obviously, the hand would much prefer to play in spades if possible when partner's weak. So Looks like the closed room has ended up in a worse contract than in the open room. We'd probably prefer to play in 2 spades rather than 2 no trumps. We'll see whether it's going to result in a swing or not. It looks like Platnick is going to make 2 spades. It's got 5 tricks in the bag already, and most likely 3 trumps to come. He'll lose 2 clubs and a spade from here. He's going to make, he's got ace of spades with trick 6. He's going to rough a diamond with the 5 for trick 7, and then play one more trick. Trumps on the other hand. Let's see what's going to happen here. So the lead was a heart, and now the player is going to start setting up the spades. Now, after ace of spades, 10 of spades, West won't take the trick, and dummy won't overtake either unless they're hoping for a 3-3 spade break. At which point it makes it a lot harder to set up the spades because there are no longer enough entries to get the spades going. So in the closed room in 2 no trumps, the player has taken 3 tricks so far. He's got 2 more to come with the clubs. He can set up a heart if he likes for 6, set up a club if he likes for potentially 7. It's getting close to making this, but yeah, he's still got a fair bit of work to do. He can, of course, get an extra entry in the club suit to potentially set up the spades at some point. But in the meantime, the defense will be taking 1 club. They'll be able to set up 2 hearts. They'll get the king of spades, is 4. And potentially they can get a diamond through at some point. If East can save an entry in hearts, potentially play the queen of diamonds through, and that'll be 6 tricks for the defense. So in the open room, we've got a pretty interesting auction going on. John McAllister opened a heart, and then without hearing anything from his partner, he's doubled 3 clubs for takeout. So clearly showing quite a strong hand and a shapely hand. And opposite that double, Will Watson wasn't entirely sure whether his partner would have 4 spades or not. And if he didn't, then bidding 3 spades would be quite risky. So he's made the safe option of bidding 3 hearts. But it looks like now they may have missed a game. 4 spades is definitely not a bad contract. Hearts even has some play. Not quite as good if they start tapping you off straight away, but they haven't. So yeah, this is a pretty interesting one. Possible another swing, definitely the sort of hand that often will create a swing with a competitive bidding decision, a strong hand. Yeah, lots of decision points for everyone. So yeah, let's see what happens on this hand. It looks like 3 hearts is going to be pretty safe. It's got 5 hearts, 2 spades, and a diamond just to begin with, and set up another spade. Yeah, he's in really good shape in 3 hearts. See whether they manage to bid game when we get there, but we're still playing 2 no trumps in the closed room. Of course, the time in New York, which I believe is the time zone of the the trials is, I think, 7:40 p.m. Sataj and I are joining from Australia. It's 9:40 a.m. So still having my morning coffee. Haven't been able to see much of the earlier parts of the match because it's been overnight, but I believe that the Bramley-Sherrison match has been on most of the day because it's been quite close. Sherrison's doing a great job keeping it close against a very strong team. And you might have noticed that Kevin Rosenberg South and Debbie Rosenberg North share the same name and they're playing each other. So Kevin is Debbie's son, and the other famous Rosenberg, of course, is Michael Rosenberg, playing on a different team.
Yes, the three Rosenbergs are playing on three different teams. They are quite a rich family. Could be you in some time, Liam.
That's right. Yeah, could be that all of the Mills playing on different teams.
The Berkowitz team is also fielding three different players, but three different events.
Oh, right. Not even playing in the same category.
Right.
So would that be David, Dana, and Michael?
No. Dana is playing in the mixed. Lisa is playing in the women's. I haven't seen her playing in a long time. And David in the seniors.
Cool.
Shall we have a look at the scores in the other matches, or have a look at the other match that's a bit close?
Yeah. What's happening in the other matches? So Levine versus Amos. So all right. So it looks like Bivens has gone to Amos. So match is a little bit closer there. Yeah, the margin's closing rather than lengthening. So in this, yeah, let's see what's happening in this match. And it looks like we're all playing the same board. So board 50 on being shown on both tables here is a very interesting one where there's a interesting competitive decision available for East-West. But in the open room on the left, it looks like because West has responded, he's had to then backtrack for the rest of the auction, and now he's playing in the uncomfortable heights of 5 spades. And the other table that we watched in the first match, East-West reached 3 hearts after South overcalled and West passed, so very different approach. It looks like in the closed room, we've got something totally different, which is a strong club auction and the 1 spade clubs or diamonds and hearts. And then pass, showing weak hands, 2 diamonds, pass or correct.
Look at the play on the left-hand side. I guess it doesn't really matter. He's just down 1, right?
Yeah. Or is he going to be down more than 1?
Yeah, well, sorry. No, you're right. He's probably down.
He's going to be down 2 now, unless North catches the ace of diamonds, which I don't think he's going to do. So they've reached 4 spades in the other room, which is got a lot more chances. So if Dwyer manages to make this, that'll be a swing to the leading team.
So run me through how you would be thinking about this hand at trick 1, Liam, on the 5 of clubs lead in the screen on the right in 4 spades.
Yeah, so the club lead is kind of not super friendly. Having the trumps attacked on this hand is not really what we want. Definitely, we will have to set up some diamond tricks at some point. I don't think we can afford to just draw trumps. Like, for example, roughing and playing ace king of spades, and then playing hearts, Well, if the trumps break 3-2, we make our rougher trick 1. We get to make the ace king of spades. We still make a spade in our hand as 4. Make 5 hearts and make a diamond. So that's 10 tricks of the trumps break 3-2. Always a pretty good rule is if you can see a line that makes when trumps are 3-2, you better check what you're doing before taking, before avoiding that line. If you go down when trumps are 3-2 on a different line, not optimal. The other possibility.
Sorry, go on.
So, I'm not sure that he's going to catch the king of spades now because the jack's fallen. So you can sort of see that if he does catch the king of spades, he's giving up trump control. If North has 4 spades. So the other possibility now is to play a heart to your hand and play diamonds up. He doesn't know on the bidding who has the ace of diamonds. I mean, South's made a vulnerable overcall, and North has not really done anything other than bid partially correct. So he'll probably be thinking that South is the one. It's not the ace of diamonds, if he had to guess. Not really clear, how he should be playing this. So if he crosses to a heart, plays a diamond up, it wins. He still doesn't know what's going on. He might cross back to another heart after that and play another diamond up. So I guess he's hoping to only lose 1 diamond. Well, yeah, the ace of diamonds is going to make his job a lot easier now, I think. I imagine that North is going to continue the tap with another club, hoping to make some little trumps, but I can't see that she's going to be able to beat the contract though, because if she plays a club and it gets roughed in the dummy, the king of spades draws another trump, and she can make 2 more trumps, but that's still 10 tricks. So I'm not sure if the ace of diamonds is a very good play. What do you think, Sataj, about this hand? I mean, it seems like there's quite a lot going on.
Yeah, look, I think he's playing the natural lines, which.
Yeah, I definitely don't mind catching 1 round of trumps, but playing a second one would have been a bit foolhardy. So, for example, if he had continued with the king of spades next, and then crossed to a heart and played a diamond up, she would have been able to win the ace, draw the last trump, and cash clubs. So obviously that would have been disastrous. But yeah, he's in pretty good shape now. He's making sure he throws away the club losers before giving up trump control, in case the North would have been able to rough in and play some winning clubs. So yeah, he'll be able to play the king of hearts now and get rid of his last club and play.
Yep, looks like he's going to make 4 spades and East-West, which is the Levine team, are going to win a swing.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, I can see why the other table got to 5 spades. The East hand opposite a 1 spade response was just enormous. I mean, it's hard to avoid making some slam tries, but I'm not sure whether to blame the 1 spade response, which was on a pretty weak hand, or whether blame East for going too high, or whether it was just bad luck. But in any case, they've managed to get to a level too high, and now we've got obviously an incredibly boring hand here with East having a 9-card solid spade suit.
So we missed the early play there. What is happening? It's 3 club opening by North and 4 spades.
Yeah, so North just cashed 2 clubs against 4 spades. It's been a club lead, and North played two clubs and East threw away as a heart on the second. So just in case the clubs were 7-1, like East didn't want to rough and have their spade get over roughed, but is this going to protect them? I mean, they're now have enough through. He can throw a diamond, but he's still going to run into a trump promotion. I don't think he can avoid it forever. So maybe it was better to rough the second spade one. What do you think, Sataj? Was Sakura's play of throwing a heart a good one or a bad one?
Well, there are 3 trumps outstanding, so he's worried that if he roughs high, then he has to cross to the spade jack and try and come back to hand with the diamond ace to draw the trumps. And then maybe the diamond up gets roughed. I can see what he was worried about, but I'm not sure whether it's objectively there's some superior line.
Fourth sort of made things easier there. Where Daniel Corbell, when he played a low club, if he played another big club,
Right.
then the declarer now has to choose what they're doing, because if they discard again, now they're running into a trump promotion when South has 10-3 spade. Potential trump
Right.
promotion.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Right.
When North played a little club, declarer could throw away a diamond and claim, basically, as long as the
Was
ace of
sure that
diamonds,
it's
as long as the ace of diamonds is standing up. But anyway, so it's not the sort of hand that you'd expect to go down in 4 spades. And yeah, but both tables have just bid 4 spades rather than mucking around trying to get to a slam. Bidding. We're no longer in 4 spades. This may well push East into bidding 5 spades. I know I would be pretty uncomfortable defending with the East hand.
Yeah, sure. With 10 tricks in your own hand, there are multiple upsides to bidding. A partner might have one of the cards you need, or they might be making 5 clubs, or they might bid again.
Yeah, and I'm probably they were not going to play in 5 clubs a lot of the time. It looks like North was potentially bidding 5 clubs for the lead. But you know that she's got a half bid. She knows the partner has 1 major. So whether they would have played in 5 clubs or not is not totally clear. But she's successfully directed a club lead against 5 spades, and now we'll see whether declarer can make this. I guess he has to rough the second club. He can't afford to do any throwing away business and set up a heart trick. So it looks to me like the winning defense is for North to win and switch to a trump to knock out the jack of spades.
Or a diamond as well.
A diamond as well will work, but then South will have 2 trumps.
I mean, he's not going to play a trump because North has to worry about declarer holding the ace of hearts rather than the ace of diamonds. So the only practical chance they have is that North finds a diamond play a trick 2, which is far from clear.
No, partner might have a singleton club. And if you don't cash your club now, you never get it. So we'll see what North does.
The 5 spade bid, however, should be suggestive of a singleton club in the East hand. And South opened 2 diamonds. Was 2 diamonds a multi?
Yeah, it said 1 major. Week 1.
Right. So North knows that partner rates to have the ace of hearts. And if partner has 6 hearts, nothing really you do is going to matter.
I'm guessing that for Julie and Anam, that if they 6 hearts, they would have opened 3 hearts. Aggressive young pair.
Right.
I say that knowing that you and I would both be also opening 3 hearts if we had 6 at this vulnerability in position. So I guess North will be thinking about it probably has 5 hearts, but as you said, I think there's a really key inference, which is that East bidding 5 over 5 is suggestive of club shortness. So, you know, it's not the sort of thing that you want to do. Yeah, there we go. It's time to switch. Yeah, nice play.
Very nice play. Very nice.
Nice play by Anam. So now all Julie has to do is rise ace and cash the diamond for down 1. And that's going to be a swing to Aimer, bringing the match a little closer.
That was a very nice defense. These hands are very easy in the postmortem or when you're looking at all 4 hands, but to get them right at the table, it's a totally different story.
Yeah, absolutely. At the table, all you can see is your own cards and the dummy, and you have to be brave and play a diamond. And if the declarer turns up that they had 2 clubs and you didn't cash them, then, you know, and you could have even given partner a trump promotion. You know, it could be disastrous. So yeah, well defended there by Anam, and 12 imps to Aimer. So the margin now down to 42 imps with looks like 9 boards to score. The last board of the set and therefore of the match will be board 60. I think it's worth mentioning that unlike when we normally watch on VUGRAPH on BBO, where sometimes it's not clear whether the cards or the bids have been inputted correctly by the operator, we could be pretty confident that all of the bids and plays here are as the players made them, because they're entering the bids and plays themselves on tablets. So we're seeing them exactly as the buttons that they click on the tablets in the playing area, which is obviously quite, some would say innovative, some would say forward thinking, some would say new. It's definitely the playing on tablets is not something that has taken the world by storm just yet, but who knows, maybe the way of the future.
Yeah, I like the certainty of knowing that the exact cards and the exact bids are being recorded.
It's absolutely good for spectators. That bit is beyond doubt. Whether it's good for the competition and whether it's good for the game and whether it's good for the players, that's probably up for debate. But sitting at home with 15,000 kilometers away it's pretty good for us.
Yep.
On board 51, Bart Bramley bid 6 spades over a 4 clubs preempt.
The 9 card suit. Wow. So he probably will not have very good chances in that contract. Yeah, it seems like a pretty aggressive choice. What's happening on this hand here, board 52? So both tables are playing the same contract of 2 hearts. Yeah, well, let's see how many tricks they're going to make. It looks like in the closed room, club lead away from the queen, and yeah, you're in pretty good shape already. You do have 2 hearts and 3 spades to lose, so definitely possible to imagine going off in this contract. Yeah, it looks like it's going 1 down in the open room. North's still got the ace of spades, the ace of hearts, and a club to win. So this will be a swing against Aimer. So this looks like this will, if Shan Wang makes his contract, this will be a 5-in swing to the Levine team. Brent, do you want to just check the running score in the Bramley match? I'm aware that spectators have been watching that match most of the day, so might be quite interested. So 6 spades went down, 4 spades made. So that's a welcome swing back to Sherrison. So now Bramley picked up 8, so it looks like they're up about 50 inches. Anyway, we can watch the Aimer match.
47
47
in favor of Bramley.
Thank you, Al.
I think it's wonderful how the trials have these 2-day-long matches. There are so many boards that you play over 2 days that a little fluky slam or some fluky game will usually not be the cause for why one team wins. So usually, so it enhances the likelihood that the better team wins, or the team that plays better wins.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's lots of advantages to these long matches. It definitely increases the chances of choosing the best team. I mean, we have to remember that this is not just a bridge competition. It selects, the national representative team, which goes over.
In the upcoming mixed and seniors, the quarterfinal and semifinals for USA 2 are only a day and a half. which
Right.
is very weird.
Yeah, sometimes they have to work with the, the limit they have with scheduling. I mean, it may be the case that they can, only hire the venue for so long, but
Yeah, when Jan's hosting 4 different categories, and 3 of them are qualifying 2 different teams in a losers bracket also for USA 2. It would have been a very, very long month plus for a lot of people.
absolutely, yeah. The players who are eligible for multiple different categories and are trying one, and if they get knocked out, they try another, and it can be a very long time away from home. Okay, so looks like in the open room on board 53, they've landed on a pretty delicate contract where the opponents have more trumps than they do. So Corbell opened 1 spade. Roger Lee responded 1 no trump. Corbell rebid 2 diamonds with 5 spades and 4 diamonds, and Roger had a very difficult decision. He had a singleton spade, 4 hearts, 2 diamonds, and 6 clubs, and the clubs were very poor as well, as you can see, queen to 6 clubs. So he had no really good options there, and he decided to pass 2 diamonds, and as a result his partner's playing this hand in a 4-2 fit. He'll be hoping that he can make some tricks by trumping spades, but the opponents are normally pretty quick to switch to trumps on these hands. So and actually it's a very good option to lead a trump against in this option where they don't have a fit for the first suit, but they pass the second suit. Often they'll be hoping that they've got a singleton spade and 3 diamonds, and they're hoping to just rough some spades. Owen C didn't really have a natural diamond lead, so we led something else. In general, pretty good option for leading trumps against. Let's see what happens in the.
No, he did lead a diamond on the left, Liam. A diamond. Yeah.
Right.
A
so
diamond, and declarer put up dummies jack and led a low spade, and West did well to duck the ace of spades. And
right.
declarer 10 from king queen 10 fifth, and Owen won the jack. Put partner in with a club for a spade, for a diamond back.
Yeah, great. I guess the point I was making about it being a great option for a trump lead is sort of proven by the fact that the defender chose to lead a trump from king 10-9 fourth. Obviously a trump holding that you would normally never lead away from. He chose to lead a trump anyway, just because the auction demanded the trump lead. Okay, so Julie Arbit has taken a different decision here. She doesn't want to play 2 diamonds, so she's bid 2 no trumps, inviting game. It's the sort of bid that could work. A partner has a club fit for you, ace and 1 club, but seems like a very aggressive choice. Obviously, there were not many good options, though. It looks like I think she's probably just going to play there.
2 no trumps has plenty of play because the clubs are 3-3.
And you do have some entries. You can lead a club from the
Yes.
dummy.
Queen of hearts, jack of diamonds. Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Yeah, so declarer could potentially lose 3 clubs, 1 spade, and the king of diamonds. If they can hold the losers to those 5 tricks and in the meantime set up a bunch of club tricks, they could potentially get home with 2 hearts, 3 clubs, a diamond, a spade, and a second diamond. So, but yeah, Anum's made another aggressive choice, so North-South getting quite high now. So Anum's chosen to shape out, showing her hand at 5-3-4-1, hoping the partner has 5 hearts, of course. And yeah, South's going to do 3 no trumps, and this is looking really dreadful now from her point of view, knowing the partner has a stiff club. So we'll see how she goes. I'll be very surprised if they manage to make 3 no trumps. 2 no trumps with a chance, but 3 no trumps seems pretty unlikely to make.
Yeah.
and they are vulnerable. So every under trick is going to add up. But in the meantime, I mean, it sounded like East West had a pretty good start to the defense over on the over in the open room, and I think, as you said, Sataj, it's particularly noteworthy that on a spade lead from the dummy, West stuck their ace of spades rather than rushing in with a singleton and a dummy. It should be clear that if you don't play your ace, you're still going to make it later on. The declarer has 5 spades, he can't trump all of them. So playing the ace of spades would have set up several tricks for the declarer, whereas playing low led the declarer to play the 10 and hadn't set up any tricks at all. So yeah, really nice play from Christian Jolly in the open room, ducking the ace of spades in 2 diamonds. And now, as you see, since obviously managed to win it later on, and the declarer's only set up 1 spade. Now, this heart lead against 3-no trumps is quite dangerous for declarer because it's starting to attack the entries to her hand. So the chances of setting up the clubs are very low now. And probably a spade to the 10 in desperation is going to be the next play. It's wrong, but not quite sure what her plan is here to make 9 tricks, or to make any tricks really at all.
I think declarer feels in the screen on the right that this is a hopeless contract and is trying to make as many tricks as she can by doing things, but yeah, perhaps spade to the 10 was better to keep the possibility of building the long spade tricks if she got some luck in the diamond suit. But as it is, there's not too many tricks on offer.
No, and now the ace of diamonds is stranded as well. So she's just hoping that the defense has to give her something. But she's only got 3 tricks in so far. She's got the ace of hearts and potentially the ace of diamonds. So this is going lots down vulnerable.
I think 8 of clubs here would be a nice play for East Shan Huang to make, to try and hope partner gets in and doesn't return a club, but instead returns. Yes, he finds the play.
Yeah.
A diamond or a heart.
We've called it. So yeah, he's hoping that his partner wins and plays the 8 of hearts back to lead through dummies jack. And yeah, the point of the 8 of clubs rather than the 3 is to suggest that you don't like clubs. You're not trying to set up the tricks in that suit. You're just trying to play something so the partner can get in and play a heart through. And this is, yeah, deadly defense for the declarer. This is going to set up lots of tricks. The 6 of hearts is going to be beating the 5 at some point. And yeah, East can see that the contract is going to be going lots down now. So nice defense in the open room to beat 2 diamonds, but by 2 tricks, vulnerable, but it's still going to be losing points, I think. But I can't see that the declarer is going to be able to get out for 2 down and 3-no trumps.
Well, there's going to be danger. If the defense cashes 2 clubs now, what does declarer pitch from dummy? I suppose they can pitch a spade and a diamond and then score 1 more trick. Yeah.
So do we predict 4 down? Is that looking likely?
Yeah, I think so.
I think pretty easy for the defense to make 4 tricks here with 2 clubs, a spade and a diamond. Yeah, I can't see the declarer will make any more tricks than that. So looks like 4 down vulnerable. He gets 2 down vulnerable and 2 diamonds will be 5 inches to the levine. Now in the other room, it looks like East, North, South have a possible game on, and they haven't bid in it yet. The North will come in now with a takeout double. It's be interesting to see. But yeah, they possibly there's not enough tricks here in hearts if the defense keeps leading hearts, but they don't. We've got potential lots of tricks in hearts. So let's see what happens here. Might even see 3 clubs double being the final contract. What do you think, Sataj? Should Roger Lee be passing this double, or should he be going 3 hearts?
Well, I mean, these sort of auctions, partner tends to have spades, you know, having not doubled one spade. So what's he thinking? He thinks partner's probably got a shape like 5, 4, 3, 1. Your clubs are pretty bad, which means declarer will run. If declarer has king, queen, jack, 10, have 5 or 6 clubs. It's a bit dangerous to pass.
Clara could have king, queen, jack, 10, 9, and then you have 1 club trick.
Yeah, and especially when you're the team that's in the lead in the match and the more well, the favorites on paper. So it's a bit risky to be doing things like passing 3 clubs double there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, also the opponents are not having a weak auction. They've had the auction to themselves vulnerable up to this point, and they've jumped with 3 clubs. It doesn't sound like they're expecting to go many down. So passing the double on the south hand, even though you have 5 trumps, and yeah, not a super appealing auction.
King of diamonds, you win the ace and play a spade, they play a trump. I think you should score 4 hearts, 2 aces, and 3 roughs. So it should be 9 tricks.
Yeah, it looks like 9 tricks. Not too hard for the defense to switch to trumps here. Of course, the long spade will set up, but you won't be able to cash it because you won't have any trumps left at the end. So
the declarer needs to cash their ace of clubs before they start roughing clubs in dummy, though, which...
Yeah. I think the danger will be clear that if he doesn't cash the ace of clubs and starts roughing little ones, the ace of clubs will get roughed by the opponents at some point. So I imagine that the declarer, well, he can actually, after he roughs this, as long as the ace of clubs stands up, he can claim. He's got enough tricks. This will be trick number 4, and he can claim 5 more roughs on the high cross, right?
So in the screen on the right, they are defending 3 clubs doubled by East, who opened a precision 2 clubs, got a takeout double by North, and then bid 3 clubs on their own, and South made what looks like a penalty double. And if you can pull trumps, they got 6 clubs and 3 spades for 9 tricks. But there are challenges involving a spade rough, so maybe the defense can beat it. Defense wins 2 hearts, a club, a diamond, and as long as they can arrange a spade rough.
Yeah, normally when you have long trumps, you know, you can consider a forcing defense here, but you know, with South's clubs being so weak, I think it's pretty reasonable to go for a rough and leave the singleton. If South tries, you know, a forcing defense with hearts, they're going to find that this contract is going to be hard to beat. Yeah, okay, so she's found the spade lead, so the defense is on track to beat 3 clubs, which will get them a slightly better score.
They can beat it 2 if they get 2 roughs.
Correct. Yeah, so if they get 500 here, that'll be a very nice score. Spade round to the ace, declarer plays a club. And yeah, pretty simple to win the ace, cross to partner in hearts or diamonds, get a rough, cross to the other one, get a rough. Yeah, and if South switches a heart to the ace, North can return a big spade saying, oh, you know, I don't have the king of hearts because I didn't win the king, but I do have the queen. Would like to underlead your king to me. So North can use super preference to show their entries, and yeah, there's a good chance here of the defense getting 500. So maybe all of my comments about the silliness of defending 3 clubs doubled in the other room were misguided, because it looks like, yeah, this is a pretty easy 500 with the defense takes it tricks.
Well, I mean, part of the reason it's a success is that the declaring side has all these points in space that don't score any tricks.
True. If declarer had some aces in the other suits, then partner wouldn't have the entries to give you all these roughs, and yeah, you wouldn't be roughing their winners anyway.
So in the screen on the right, on the Queen of Spades lead, which North knows is a singleton, a carding should be suit preference. So that's the spirit in which Anam played the 8 of spades, intending it as suit preference for hearts.
I think this is a good play by dually ducking a club. It's not really dangerous because you get to see a discard from your partner. She's discarded a spade, high spade. So you would expect that if partner has 5 spades, probably looks like the ace of hearts as well, with multiple high spades being played. Yeah, so
10 of spades
maybe
is also a nice play, really sending the message about the heart suit to partner.
yeah.
So they're due to get a good score.
Now, a low heart to the ace, obviously partner's going to return a spade. And yeah, this is going to be a nice 500. So Champagne thought he had a good hand here, being 3 clubs. It looked like he certainly did. Looked like he had 8 tricks in his hand, but yeah, even though partner had 7 points for him, he only made 7 tricks. So yeah, he's gone for 500. So Adams back to Aimer, which makes the margin 43 with 6 boards to play.
Shall we look at the scores in the other match that was close to see if we should go over there?
Right, so Bramley's only won 3 imps.
Yeah, let's watch a few hands in the Bramley versus Shirison.
All right, so what's going
I
on
think
here?
it's Shirison.
Shirison.
And actually, Goodman versus Goo is a little bit closer. 196 to 230.
Let's have a look at that then. If there is a match that's really close, that could be.
Well, 35.
Yeah, so
that's the closest.
Okay, let's watch Goodman versus Goo then.
yeah.
Well, I guess Levine. The
I think
Levine match was 34. So
another benefit of the trials being on tablets is that each match can play the same boards. Whereas traditionally the US trials and the late US knockouts tend to have different boards for different matches for security concerns.
actually, the trials always had duplicated boards because when it was 4 people at one table, they were isolated in a single hotel room. So that took care of the security issues. So it's only the ACBL events that haven't duplicated boards.
Well, it's
Right.
because of security, right? Like they have the functionality, they elect not to do it because of the risk of, and I think it's a well warranted risk of someone having a loud postmortem, why didn't you bid 7 diamonds? And, or, is the spade finesse on up? I think it's good to have different boards and different matches for security reasons. But if you've solved the security problem, then it's good to have the same hands.
Yeah, and I mean, sorry, you go, Al.
No, I was just going to say, I don't think the ACBL ever really made an effort to address prevention.
Right.
Other than different boards. I think that's all that they were ever willing to do. They never worked on rearranging the rooms. They never worked on using different software. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, from the point of view of the spectators, I mean, from our point of view, it's quite nice having all the same boards because it means that we can come into this match. We've seen what's happened on this hand in other matches, and now we can see a really nice option on the right hand side to get to the best part score. When so far we've seen Roger Lee and Dan Corbell playing two diamonds and therefore two pit, go two down vulnerable. We've seen someone try 3-no trumps and go 4 down vulnerable. And now we've seen an auction that's actually managed to get to 2 clubs. And the way they've managed to do it is with the help of a aggressive double on the East cards, which I actually would probably make the same double. I'm kind of surprised that no one else has found that double, but East has doubled and South's been able to use a conventional method of 1-no trump as a transfer to clubs. And I think also of note is that over that 1-no trump bid showing clubs, of course, North is not super keen on clubs, but they've bid 2 clubs just in case their partner's weak with long clubs and nothing else, instead of bidding 2 diamonds, which would have got them into this misfitting auction again. So yeah, now North's going to be able to play in 2 clubs, and this contract actually has some chances.
Yeah, I think it's a good point you make about North taking the transfer by bidding 2 clubs. And because if North got scared about the club misfit and started bidding diamonds, they get into an even greater misfit.
Exactly, yeah. I think the point is that the only danger of bidding 2 clubs is that partner passes. And if partner passes because they're weak, they're much more likely to have 6 of them. And if they've got 6 of them, A, you want to play in 2 clubs, and B, they don't have much else for you. It's going to be not much fun, especially if they've got the hand that they have where they don't have, there's no 7-card bid in any other suit available that you can get to. You're not going to be able to find hearts. Looks like East did not lead a diamond against 2 diamonds in the open room because they've still got all 4 diamonds left. Well, after their king's gone, they've got 3 of them left, but they didn't lead one to begin with. So the point I was making earlier about leading a diamond against these auctions where open the bids a major, a no trump, 2 of a different suit pass, great time for a trump lead. East probably knew that, but chose not to because their diamonds were so good. They wanted to wait for a diamond through, which I'm not sure that that's such a good idea, because sometimes even when your diamond lead costs a trick, you get it back by predicting a rush. So yeah, not sure. Which way do you go on those sort of situations? Do you listen to the auction and ignore what your trump holding is, or do you look at how good your trumps are and imagine partner leading them through for you?
Oh, well, I'd probably do one or the other depending on the day and the mood, how confident you feel about your intuition. You make a good case for the aggressive diamond lead.
There's one more benefit sometimes, which is that you lead a trump from holding it. Probably the other players would not expect you to lead a trump from. You lead a trump from queen third, for example. And then when they later have a decision on the trump suit, they think, well, you can't have queen third. But how would you lead a trump with that holding? You end up making the trick, which you probably weren't supposed to make. You end up getting it back because they just don't expect you to have led away from an honor.
Yeah. So in the screen on the right, there's some chance that 2 clubs can be defeated if not anymore.
If East had roughed, then there were chances.
After
sure.
the ace of clubs, that's the second trick. 3 clubs to come from partner's hand is 5. And then hope to score a heart trick. But which may be pretty hard to do.
Well, say East had roughed with the ace of clubs, played a trump through, and then a diamond back through. You might tuck the clear into their hand and force them to lead away from the ace queen of hearts.
Yeah, but then declarer comes out of clubs. So roughs with the ace of clubs, plays a club through, plays a diamond through, and plays another club.
Yeah, West wins, can catch the
West
catch the last club, but then has to provide access with a spade.
Yeah, either a spade or give declarer a heart finesse. So it was probably always destined to make.
I wonder if East had rough low, something might have happened.
Possibly.
I guess declarer can just play trumps from their hand. Now you're only losing 3 clubs anyway.
Declarer did
Yeah.
play a sneaky 10 of spades, and it wasn't clear to East that partner didn't have the queen.
It was actually a lot harder to defend when North was declarer because East did not know that their partner had such good clubs, whereas the South had been playing clubs and the single big club was on the dummy as well as the good spades. It would have been probably easy to find whatever
Two
tricks
clubs
were
making
available.
two would probably win all the match points to North-South. It's a
It's a
spectacular.
fantastic result. Yeah. It's the sort of hand where after North opens a spades, North-South are immediately in trouble with the misfit. So really well done by Alex Kolesnik and Itai Low to reach two clubs. And of course, they were given some help with the double, but it's not like the double was a mistake. It was just a choice that was made, and they fully capitalized on being able to use transfers after a double, use good judgment to bid two clubs. Played it okay, made it. Like, it was all pretty good.
It was a well-earned swing. That's right.
And you only have to go so far as half an hour back in the stream to see North-South going down 4 vulnerable and 3 no trumps to see what the other options were available for North-South on there. And meanwhile, it looks like 2 diamonds is going to drift on down here at the other table. So that'll be a 5 and swing. So North's chosen to enter the auction on the first round at this table on the screen on the right, the closed room. What do you think, Sakai? Would you be doubling or would you be passing as Dan Corbell did in the other room that we watched?
I like a double. I think you have the other 2 suits. The vulnerability is attractive. You have a void in clubs, and I would tend to double with these things.
I agree. I mean, I also like coming in early rather than waiting, and then sometimes you're still waiting and you don't get the chance to bid again later on.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, the advantage in coming back later is that partner will infer that you will have good, at least reasonable spade length, and you might be able to play in a spade contract, even though West is bidding spades. That theme comes up quite a lot. That North-South's best fit is in spades, even though West has bid them. So that's the upside to passing.
Yeah, passing and then taking some strong action later on, suggesting that you had some spades. It makes sense. And it looks like East has redoubled here, possibly a support redouble, showing 3 spades. And yeah, I imagine South was about to bid some number of hearts. And double was chosen at the other table as well over 1 spade. So yeah, interesting that Corbell chose pass. So okay, I say low. Another poor prediction from me. He's not going to bid hearts. He's going to bid spades. He thinks he's got a pretty good hand.
Yeah.
Why not? Why not bid your single in instead of your 4-card suit? But obviously, 2 spades. It's he's trying to show that he's got a good hand. You'd prefer to bid 2 clubs though, wouldn't you? If you were going to make a Q bid and then still have the 2 level available to you. So we're not quite sure whether maybe 2 clubs wasn't available for them. Maybe 2 clubs would have been natural.
Possibly.
And South in the open room's chosen probably a more practical method of just jumping to 3 hearts, being pretty certain that we've got a heart bid. Unlike a normal take-out double of a 1-level opening bid where you might have 4 and the other maybe you might not, you might only have 3. I mean, in this auction, a club pass a spade double, North South's definitely going to expect the North has at least 4-4 in the other 2 suits. A bit more of a stronger impression of having genuine length in both the suits. So they're in 4 hearts now.
On the right, there's an opportunity because East has bid 4 clubs, which is very reasonable with King, Queen, Jack, 10, 7th, and Ace, King, X in partner suit. But it's a big opportunity for North-South. They could double and get 800 against 4 clubs doubled. So
Yeah.
we'll
Oh,
see
I
if that
definitely
happens.
think South is going to double 4 clubs, and yeah, I definitely have sympathy for 4 clubs. I mean, all you need is partner to have the queen of spades and a trick, and you know, then you're thinking that you're going to make 4 clubs. But South has not capitalized. It looks like I'm not certain about this pass. Seems like a pretty good opportunity to double and yeah, lead a spade, and you know that your partner's going to be able to get in and give you some spade rush. So yeah, not sure if I'm a fan of this pass, but we'll see what North does now. Okay, show suits.
After the redouble shows 3 spades, is South concerned about doubling 4 clubs because of the possibility of having to defend 4 spades?
Well, maybe, but if West has 5 spades, they're probably going to be bidding 4 spades whether you double or not. And it's not clear that 4 spades will be any better because the partner leads their singleton club and starts, you know, if they had a single club, then they might be over-upping declare it. And it looks like, you know, there's going to be issues and whatever the opponents play. I mean, you can also be pretty happy that the opponents, well, you can be pretty certain that the opponents have stretched too far because you have 10 high card points as South, and North's made a double, which suggests they might have an opening hand, which means that probably North South have the balance of the points. And here the opponents are trying to play at the 4 level vulnerable. So I'm pretty surprised that South didn't go for the axe. Imagine we're about to see a heart shift from East, which will mean 4 hearts will be going down. If he doesn't switch to a heart, then I think they're going to make this. Okay, so maybe 4 hearts is going to make now. North South will be hoping to make 2 aces and all 8 trumps.
So yes, on the screen on the right, 4 hearts rates to make, and on the left, I think East needs to find a heart switch now. He's done it.
Yeah, so Walter Lee's found a nice play there of switching to a heart. And yeah, instead of adding up all our tricks against 4 clubs double 800 North South, they're going to make 420 in the other room, but it's still going to win a swing of 10 imps. If they doubled 4 clubs and collected 800, they would have been looking for 13, but they're still going to win a nice swing. I like that. North typed in his line, cross rough.
Right.
I guess that's one disadvantage of tablets. You know, when you're playing face to face, you can show your cards and say, look, I'm going to take my spade, then I'm going to rough a diamond, and then I'm going to sell it 5, and that's going to be 10 tricks. Whereas typing that all out on a tablet, probably just quicker to play it out.
Yeah, but I understand that North and East or West and South are co-located in a hotel room.
Right.
And I believe
So,
a lot of cases where someone just, you know, they just have a chat between, they can look at each other's hands and are able to fast track some claims.
sure. Yeah, so they still have screen mates of a sort.
Yeah, in a way, yeah.
Except instead of being screens, it's screens on a tablet.
Yeah, right. It's the normal screen mates are actually now roommates.
Sure. Now, I guess we can see that on the diagram in the middle of the table with the diagonal line going from the top left to the bottom right, that South and West rooming together and North and East are rooming together.
Young eyes can see that, mine can't.
So in the open room, it looks like West is now in with a diamond and can play another trump, which will prevent even more rough. So there's every time the defense plays trumps, the declarer's tricks get reduced. I guess they'll be able to set up the 10 of diamonds, which might get their trick back, but yeah, 4 hearts definitely not going to make them left. And in the closed room on the right, so was 1 club strong, or was it possibly a short club? Okay, 2+ clubs, and South's showing spades with their 1 heart bid, their transfer response. So probably North-South will be aiming to play in 2 spades here. Interesting that North was not able to open 1-0 trump. I guess they were too strong. They've got 17 points and adding 1 for length. They would thought they were too strong.
It seems like North has upgraded their hand, so he's about, or he can't rebid 2-0 trump because he doesn't have a diamond stopper. So, and double is a support double, so North has a very awkward hand. I suppose 3 diamonds is a technical bid to show a strong hand without stopper, and hasn't gone so well for North so far. Or maybe you can fake a support double.
I don't know. It's a very, very awkward hand now for North. There are no really good options. Like bidding 3 diamonds is so clunky. It's like really high.
Yeah.
And you haven't found a hit yet. And you don't even know if you have enough points per game. So it's, you know, you don't have a spade fit, and you don't have a diamond stopper. So it looks like your most likely games of 4 spades and 3 trumps are out. Now, 3 clubs. Obviously, South will be expecting a 6-card suit. Maybe North hoping that because their partner has short diamonds, they have some club fit. Of course, that's not right this time. South is probably going to be passing 3 clubs, and this is going to be a really pretty poor contract. Not super keen on this 3-club bid with only 5 of them, but I can see that North did not have many appealing outs either. This wouldn't have been my choice, but I can see that they have a tough decision.
Bramley's lead is up to 55. Levine's lead is down to 31. Or Levine, however he pronounces it.
All right, so we're about to swing. Okay, good, bad. All right, so 3 clubs was intended by North as showing an invitational strength hand, like 17, 16 points or something. On the grounds that 2-0 trumps would have shown a good hand or a bad hand. So 2-0 trumps instead of 3 clubs would be what you would bid with a competitive hand with clubs. North's hoping that they're showing a good hand with clubs here. So this match has just opened up big time with the 11-imp swing. So now the margin's 52. So Tara, should we go check out the Levine match with margin?
Yeah, let's
31?
do that.
Okay, so we're fast forwarded in time here to see some boards that we haven't seen yet. It's hard to know what's happened on 59 because we can't see the full layout, but 57 on the right-hand side. See what contract they're going to get to it. They're not going to bid 4 hearts, I don't think. We'll see what South was thinking about doing. They've got a pretty good hand for their bidding so far. All they've done is bid 2 spades competitive, 2 hearts, 2 spades preference, and then 3 hearts competitive. So South's thinking of doing, maybe they're thinking of doubling. It's definitely not the sort of auction where your side is showing the balance of the strength, though. Like both the opponents are bidding fairly strongly. West has ventured 4 diamonds, like they're not going to have a bad hand. And partners open 2 hearts at favorable vulnerability, not promising very much. So I imagine South is eventually going to pass, but let's see. I could be wrong. Most of our predictions have been wrong today. So
4 diamonds doubled is pretty close to making. It all depends on the lead. Because the king, queen of hearts are coming down short.
Well, we'll see
At least
whether
put
they
it
can beat.
under.
Yeah, and double, but there's going to be the contract.
Well, let a spade and not a club, right?
Yeah, when I got taught to lead singletons against trump contracts. So I'm sure I would have led a club against this contract. But North's chosen to lead a spade. So what's going to happen here for declarer? Looks like a spade and potentially 3 clubs. But as you said, they can set up some heart tricks with the hearts coming down. In the open room on the left, they've reached the last board, and it's a slam. Be interesting to see how Daniel Corbell and Roger Lee handled these 2 collections. South was about to open 2 clubs, but I imagine Owen's going to be opening 1 spade in the east seat, a light 3rd seat opening. And then North South have to navigate the auction as a contested auction, basically an opening bid rather than starting with a nice 2 club bid and having the auction to the south. All right, so it looks like declarer on the closed room on the right has set up a heart trick. So she will be able to, he'll be able to make his contracts. Diamond Rough gets him up to 6, Florida Trump gets him to 7, there's 8, 2 more trumps in his hand, there's 10, so he'll be making 4 diamonds. Now, when it was played in the other room, South went 3 down and 4 spades, so this is only going to be a 1-inch swing. It's going to be to the opponents.
Before I forget again, has Australia determined its teams for the next World Championships?
Oh, that's a sore topic, Al. We don't want to talk about that.
Oh.
But yes, that we determine most of the teams actually quite early on. So we actually had our open trials in November.
And how did you go in the open trials, Liam?
So back to the hand on the left.
Well,
I do think that, yeah, the hand on the left is actually really interesting with this 4 heart bit. But anyway.
Well, for our audience who don't know, Liam and I were on the same team. We were the favorite team for the event, but managed to lose our match. So on the left, yes, they're on their way to 6 hearts, which looks like we'll need a spade finesse, perhaps.
Or ace of diamonds lead will speed things up.
Yeah, maybe declarer should try to play the diamonds early and the clubs early before committing to a spade finesse, but everything is favorable. Queen of clubs is short, ace of diamonds is short. Oh, wait a second, there's one thing that doesn't work, which is to play to reverse the dummy and strip squeeze west, which is quite esoteric.
Well, East has also given the declarer another losing option on the lead.
Good point.
He could, if he thinks that East has led away from the Queen of Clubs, he might play low and lose the first 2 tricks, but that's obviously a pretty committal line. It's unlikely that the declarer would choose to go down straight away. Normally you would seek to try some chances in the other suits before. Yeah, but there'll be some hands where you needed to play low and it was the only way to make it, where everything else doesn't work. That's pretty unlikely on this hand. So pretty nice board for them to finish on here. Corbell choosing a pretty brave 4-heart bid with 5 points, but it's a bidder's game, as we know, and he was also hoping for a 10-card heart bid, so made it very easy for Roger Lee to Blackwood and go for 6 hearts, which he's made very quickly. So
it was a nice play, playing a diamond towards the king. He caters to East holding ace doubleton diamond precisely.
right, so he can play a diamond to the king and then play a diamond back and duck it on the way back, and if that works, and the queen of diamonds will be good for a discard.
Yeah.
Oh, in the other room on board 58, the first table to play it was able to play 1-0 trump and make 8 tricks, and 3 diamonds here looks extremely comfortable. Great fit, and not many losers. It looks like they've lost 1 trick and they might lose two clubs and a spade from here. So the king of diamonds is onside, so it should be pretty comfortable. But Levine, of course, has a commanding lead of 39 innings with only 3 boards to play, so it's pretty hard to imagine Eamon having a chance of catching up when 6 hearts was bid in the other room. If it hadn't been, of course, they would have had some chances, but yeah, so 6 hearts by north-south in the open room will seal the deal for them.
It looks like this match is more or less a certainty that Levine will win. Shall we have a look at the scores to see if there's another match where there's a theoretical possibility of a comeback?
Sure. So it looks like Bramley pulled away, winning the last set by 30 inches, up by almost 70 now. And the other match that we looked at, Goodman and Gu, saw that 11-inch swing earlier on board 54, put the Gu team in a pretty solid position. Looks like most of the matches are all pretty much determined. Although, look, that there is definitely a chance here, some theoretical chance of the Goodman team. At least they have a time on their hands. So maybe we should have a look at this match. The main reason that they have some chances that they've got some boards left, whereas the match that we were just looking at, one of the tables was already finished. And we can have a look at some of the hands that we've already seen at the other tables. Now, what do you think, Sataj, on the north hand would be bidding in this position on the right hand side? 1 diamond, your passed hand, 1 diamond, double 3 diamonds to you, 5-5 in the majors, but only 5 points. What would you think you would bid?
I would bid 3 spades. I don't really want to pass when I have so much shape, and double seems a bit misdirected.
What about 4 diamonds? Too much?
Yeah, that is a bit much with two low diamonds. It pays to overbid and get to the right strain, like they say on 5-5 hands, when you have no certainty that you have a fit in one of the suits. Whereas here you have some certainty of a spade fit, and so 3 spades seems to strike a balance between the two approaches.
Yeah, I guess a different scenario would be that they open 3 diamonds in front of you, and you have 5-5 in the majors, and a reasonable hand, 13-14 points. If you choose to bid the wrong one, the partner has a singleton there and 4 in the other one, it could be a disaster. But if you overcall with a Q bid and show both suits, you will always get to the right strain, even if you might occasionally bid too high. But here you're right, it's quite different, because when partner doubles 1 diamond, when you bid 3 spades, partner's got something for you there, even if they might have only 3 spades and 4 hearts.
Yeah, Yeah. So in the King of Diamonds lead, West has a chance to make a play of winning the Ace of Diamonds, cashing the Ace of Hearts, putting partner in, and then taking heart rough for 2, which he's found. It's a nice defense by Mike Purcell.
Yeah, very practical. On the hand, of course, he's helping to set up the Terrace 5-card heart suit, but there was no way that such long hearts, and he's just taking the very good chance, of course, the partner has an entry. So interesting, he's decided to play for the entry in clubs rather than diamonds. The reason he's done that is because he was worried about North having started with a singleton diamond, and when he tries to get back to his partner, North will be roughing and then he won't get his heart run. And it's also obvious to Andy Goodman that why would partner cash the Ace of Hearts looking at King, Queen, third and a dummy unless he had a singleton. So Goodman's able to find her up pretty quickly. And yeah, now we get to try the diamond, and that works too. So we get another up. So this will be down 3 pretty quickly. Funny that North hand looked pretty strong to begin with, 5-5, but the fence has shown that perhaps it wasn't quite as strong as it looked.
Seven tricks. I thought there was 2 diamonds, a heart, a club.
The 2 roughs.
Yeah, I go down 3.
Like a possibility for a swing from board 6 on the left. West played in 1 no trump, making 10 in the other room. So if they managed to get to a game here, managed to get 3 no trumps. It's definitely a hand that you'd want to be in 3 no trumps, even though you only have 24 combined high card points, because you also have all of the cards are working together. You've got these 10s and 2 10s opposite, honors. You've got, Ace Jack 8 small and diamonds. It's a Queen 7 6 is another possibility for some pit magic. It's a sort of hand where, even though there's no clear suit to be playing on, you just expect that you're going to end up with a lot of tricks in the long run. But I can see why they would miss game. In standard methods, it would probably go, minor opening and then a no trump response, and that's going to be it. When we played a 14 to 16 no trump, you would probably get there.
Yeah, yeah. So here, West has bid 2 hearts, which is probably an invitational raise in diamonds.
So Brent, would you be able to mouse over the 2 heart bid on the board 56? Yeah, you were right. So liver raise in diamonds. Not exactly what East wanted to hear, but at least Par's got some points. So I imagine it's going to be a 2 no trump bid next.
Oh, he's bid 3 no trump. There you go.
Okay. So
He's been listening to our commentary, Liam.
that's
going
right.
for
He's going for it. So this will be a really interesting one, whether he can make 3 no trumps. Definitely a chance to shine.
Indeed.
And if South leads a club, which seems like the obvious lead, the defense hasn't really set up much. So for our viewers just tuning in, we're watching the last set of the round of 16 in the USBF trials to represent the US on the Open team, USA 2 later this year in Marrakesh in Morocco at the Bermuda Bowl. Yeah, we've been switching around the different matches, but in the match we're currently watching, who's ahead by Goodman by almost 50 imps. With not that many boards to play. Most of the matches have been decided already, but we're obviously going to watch the last few boards and see what's going on. And just to introduce who you're listening to, I'm Liam Milne, and I'm here with Sataj Hans. We're both from Australia, and Al Hollander in the US. And we're watching Walter Lee play 3-no trumps here on the left. Chance to win a non-vulnerable game swing. The other room played it in 1-no trump, probably on the auction, something like pass, a minor, pass, 1-no trump. So South has chosen a club lead, which has not set up his club tricks, and you may well see the suit being returned to him at some point soon. But yeah, what would you be thinking here, Taj, on a club lead around to your queen, which you could potentially play any of the suits at trick 2. What do you think the best approach would be by the player?
Well, looking at the two hands, the first thing that comes to my mind is that I want to lead a diamond towards the queen. But then again, there is the 10-9 Doubleton diamond option, which is the case for leading a diamond towards the jack. And as you say, you could be playing any of the suits. And usually when you have these hands where you can't make your mind up between playing a spade or a heart or a diamond, the best play usually is just to return a club back at them, see what the defense does. So that's also a possibility.
Yeah, that's right. There is some danger to doing that on this hand. If you do that, and South clears the clubs and has the king of spades, they've got enough tricks to beat.
Yeah, that's true.
It certainly looks like South has led a 5-card club suit. Yeah, not many indications from the bidding where the cards lie either. No one's bid anything.
So diamond to the jack. A good start. And then maybe play a heart to the 10. And try to keep some fluidity for the end game.
I guess he's hoping for 2 spades, 2 hearts, 2 diamonds, 2 clubs, and then a trick. A trick from any of the other suits. I mean, another option at this point would be to run the queen of spades or something like that, just with the goal of knocking out South's king of spades, if that's their late entry to the clubs. But the problem with that is that if it goes queen of spades, king ace, now when you give the opponents the lead, they can actually set up spade hooks.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely not entirely clear what declarer should be playing at this point. I mean, another option is to play a diamond back towards your hand and hoping that North have 10 doubled in or 10-9 or 9 doubled in a diamond, so you can potentially get another diamond trick there. You're definitely going to have to play spades at some point, so maybe even a spade to the jack. So it seems like a very hard hand to analyze, especially if you can't see all the hands like we can.
True. If East is certain that South has the ace king of clubs, which, club lead, low, 9, queen, there is some chance North has some holding like king 9 Doubleton. But if he's sure South has the ace king of clubs, now he already has the king of diamonds, so that's getting up to 10. So North rates to have some of the other high cards, given that South did not take any action over the 1 diamond opening.
That's true. If South had ace king 5th club, the king of diamonds and the king of spades, they may well have overcalled 2 balls. And on board 59 on the right, we've actually got a possible slam as well. happens to not make because the king of diamonds is offside, but lots of action going on here on the right hand side. So what do we think the options are here for declarer on the left? He could play a spade. He could play a heart to the 10. He could play a club, but then he'll be in some trouble if South can get in at some point. But that's the danger of you play a club and South just wins and clears the clubs, and now there's some pressure because we haven't managed to duck any tricks to them yet, and now can't really play on hearts because South may get in and cash the club. So not clear what's going on.
Yeah.
And kind of funny that East has a really nice 17 count in a bit. That right-hand opponent opened 2 clubs game for us.
Indeed.
Not a very common position. I don't think I've ever had 17 points and heard opponents open a game for us. Definitely going to make it harder for North-South to find diamonds now, though. The 3 club over. Okay, so the clearer on the left has played a spade, so he's got 7 tricks, and if he can set up a club, he'll make 8. Maybe one of his goals will be to get to a point where South only has clubs and diamonds left and play the jack of clubs at them. That way he'll get another trick. South will be sort of in play. So for example, if he ducks a heart now and can cash 3 hearts when they split and the jack of spades and then exit the club, will be in good shape.
Yeah, but if you duck a heart, South can cash 1 high club and then come out with something passive, like let's say a spade. And now South probably gets squeezed if you're on the last club. They have to, yeah. Eventually they have to give you the 10 of clubs and dummies. So it works.
Well, what if South throws away their little clubs? Oh, but they can only throw away 1 club, and eventually you can chuck them off the king of diamonds to give you the 10 of clubs.
Right.
Okay, so ace of hearts. So maybe he's trying to do an in play already on the 3rd round of hearts. But there's obviously no in play right now because South can just play spades. I imagine
he was trying to cater to South holding on a doubleton in hearts.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, that's maybe quite a good play actually, increasing the chances of getting another heart trick. So South's best defense now is probably to cash a big club and then play the spade to remove declarer's exit card in clubs.
Yeah, and then declarer gets to cash the last heart. South discards a club, crosses to a diamond, plays a diamond, and scores the 10 of clubs at the end for his 9th trick. Oh, well, what a hand. Yeah,
it still requires the declarer to do some good things, though. If he guesses the shape of the hand wrong, he might not make us. Actually, when South exits if South exits a spade without cashing a club, the declarer can just cash a heart and play the jack of clubs, and South is obviously has to give a trick in somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, South is worried that North has Jack 9 doubleton club. Because trick 1 went club, club, 9, queen.
Yeah, that was good play by declarer playing the queen or queen jack. If he played the jack, declarer would know who had the queen. Probably. I think kind of would have put up the queen. Or queen on, maybe not. Maybe North would have finessed against dummy.
And if that's the layout, South needs to come out a low club and have partner play a diamond or something, and declarer has no chance, even if declarer has something like ace jack 9x of spades. So South has this problem.
Maybe on the hearts, if North played up the line, maybe it was a super reference signal. suggesting that North had an honour in clubs. But anyway, that's what South decided to do. They've decided to come out a low club, and so declarer now has 9 tricks without having to do anything too tricky.
He may well have worked out that if this is the hand declarer was going to make, with the lines that we looked at before. So it was probably a nice play.
Yeah, it probably was. It looked a bit silly, South playing a club round to declarer's jack, but if partner had the jack, this was the only chance, and if declarer had it, there was no way to beat the hand, as we saw. The South had no winning options on the actual. So I think we can say well defended to South, but it's not going to get a reward for it. But anyway, East has done well. East West have done well to bid the 300 trumps, and he chose a line that was working. So 6-imps for Guru to extend their lead. So I'm not sure if this would be considered an upset or not, this result. It looks like the Goodman team has got some pretty strong players on it. I'm not sure who was the favourite to begin with, but it looks like Gu has found a pretty commanding lead. It looks like a good result on board 59, the one that just disappeared. 5 clubs by East-West going 1 down double, when North-South had, I think, were pretty cold 5 diamonds, or possibly 4 spades as well. But now board 60 is the one we saw earlier, where North-South can make a vulnerable slam in hearts. We'll have to see how they're going to cope with East's opening bid. I assume East is going to open 1 spade or 2 spades or something. If East passes, might make the option easier for North-South. South opens 2 clubs. North eventually shows their hearts. Here's partner make a super accept. You might be able to find the slam, but I think East is likely to open the bidding. Obviously, it's pretty appealing to open the bidding 3rd seat non-vulnerable. You can open like. Board 57 on the left was the hand we saw earlier, where the player reached 4 spades but went down 3 very quickly. The defense took the first 6 tricks with a couple of heart rushs. Looks like a distraction has been introduced here with a 2 spade that looks like a raise of diamonds of some sort. Might double, might do 3 spades, might do 3 diamonds. We'll see. Now, at the other table on board 60, they've missed their slam. South have overboard 300 trumps with 24 points, obviously pretty heavy, and North, for some reason, was not able to show a transfer to hearts. What do you think, Sataj? Do you think that North should have done something over 300 trumps?
Well, you can see that North was scared that partner had potentially a singleton heart, given that partner didn't double and with no trumps. So
yeah, North was catering, I guess, for South having something like a singleton heart and a long minor and some spade stoppers rather than the hand they had with it. They were actually happy to play. So, should we blame South for this one, perhaps, for not doubling?
yeah, I think South's 3-note trump is very unilateral, even not just from the point of view of the missed slam, but also you would often play the wrong game. Give partner, say, 5 small hearts and out, and 4 hearts would be in a pretty good shape, whereas 3-note trump would need 5, 7, 8, 9. The 3-note trump could be going down.
Yeah, if the hearts don't run in 3-note trump, and you have to give them a heart. Now they set up the spades, and the guy who has the spades also has the ace of diamonds, and down you go. Or they might even have a club lead, or they might have a diamond lead. I agree. I mean, if partner has 4 or 5 hearts, you definitely would like to be in hearts, I think. So, but it doesn't seem like there was much harm in South doubling and then bidding 300 trump next time, which would have suggested really that this time they would have found their hearts. And not only would they have been the right suit that they might have had a chance of getting to their slam. But
Yeah.
yeah, does go to show that two spade bid caused a problem. If it had been a one spade opening, of course,
Question
South would
for you.
have doubled. So
Yeah.
Is there a general rule that people can use to figure out when double and then 3-no trump shows doubt about no trump versus when double then 3-no trump just shows a really good hand?
you know, what do you think, Sataj? Does
I
would
would
doubling
say
and then
that-
bidding 3-no trump show a big hand?
I think the modern trend very much is that when the opponents open a preempt and you double and bid 3-no trump, you are showing playability in the majors.
Okay.
So say the opponents open 3 diamonds and you double and it goes pass and partner bids 3 hearts and you bid 3-no trump, you're not necessarily showing a very strong hand. You're more trying to emphasize your playability in spades and some playability in hearts. I think that's the modern trend.
So it's flexibility rather than keying in on your holding in the preempted suit.
That's my that's sort of how I like to play, and I think this is the modern trend. But
Yeah. I mean, I realize it's not etched in stone, just thought it was something we should talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's an interesting topic. I mean, and I definitely think that the idea of doubling and then bidding to show a big hand has sort of gone out of favor, because if you think about hands, you know, where you double and bid again to show a really strong hand, the idea is probably to get to a slam. That's the idea is that you you know, showing a big hand, hoping the partner can bid again. But slams are not, you know, the most frequent cause of a swing. The most frequent cause of a swing is not playing the right suit or the right contract. And yeah, the auction that Sataj was talking about, say they open 3 diamonds, you double, partner bids 3 hearts, you bid 3-no trump. You know, it's nice that partner knows that they can perhaps go 4 hearts now or go 4 spades. And even on the auction that we had, you know, that where East opened 2 spades, you might double, partner bids 3 hearts, you bid 3-no, and if partner has 5 of them, they can go 4 hearts. Be pretty confident that you have some hearts where if you overcall 3-no.
I mean, the other factor after an opening 2 bid is that after it goes 2x double, partner will often bid 2-no trump as some form of Lebensall. So is it possible now that you've wrong-sided no trump?
Yeah, definitely. And on the hand that South had, with a 24 count, where it went 2 spade opening and they doubled, it was pretty likely that partner was going to bid 2-no trumps during a weekend. And then if we end up with 3-no trumps, we'd probably prefer to be playing it rather than displaying our mighty 24 points on the dummy and making it a bit easier for the opponents to defend and perhaps getting the lead through the wrong hand. So maybe that's what he was thinking about when he bid 3-no trumps. If we want to be generous, so it's a South's choice of bidding 3-no trumps rather than doubling. Definitely, if they had opened at the 3 level, I think double would be clear cut, because then the risk of this 2-no trump Lebensall wrong-sided business is not really going to happen. And now it's all about just finding the right suit or potentially hearing partner jump to game, and now you might find a slam. So on the hand, we
Conversations like this that killed a lot of my partnerships. I just wanted to talk about the play of the hand.
Well, I mean, I think dealing this topic of dealing with the opponent's preempts, or indeed in general dealing with the opponent's bidding, is, you know, that's the bread and butter stuff that wins or loses points. And in my view, discussing the competitive options is far more important than discussing what our 4th round relays are after a 2-club opening, and we can show controls and blah blah blah. I mean, that stuff is so rare, and the opponent's bidding seems to happen every hand. But yeah, most people's bidding notes seem to have a long section on all the things that happen when the opponents don't bid, and very little about what happens when they do bid. And it turns out that they bid on every second hand. So that's my view about constructing a system. Focus on the competitive bidding, because that's the stuff that's bread and butter, and that happens all the time. Very high frequency stuff.
And they focus on partner being an unpassed hand rather than passed hand auctions.
Oh, that's a good point too. Yeah.
Yeah, in the bidding notes, the auctions always start 1 spade pass, 2 clubs pass, you know, and no one bids. And then at the table it goes pass, pass, a diamond, 3 clubs. And, you know, that's the real life stuff.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you letting me interrupt so that you could have those conversations. I like that.
No worries. And on this hand here, it looks like South has balanced with double, which I'm not sure whether it was clear cut or not. I mean, the South hand was pretty good for defending 2 hearts as well, but this time partner's got a 5-card diamond suit. So doubling has worked pretty well. And now North's going to play in 3 diamonds, which is, yeah, a contract which is very good with the diamond finesse working. I wonder how 2 hearts was going to go. Looks like, yeah, 1 down if you can get the diamond through, but not unless you don't. But this will be a flat board because 2 hearts did go down the other room, and 3 diamonds will be 110, so no swing. The last 2 boards, as we know, are quite exciting because we've seen them at a few of the other tables. So we're on board 58 now, and we'll have to see what this table does on the last 2 boards, board 59 and 60. But I think it's probably the right time to say well done to Goo for winning this match. Yeah, right. We're up by 53 imps. Doesn't seem possible that they can lose the match from here. So I believe tomorrow the round of 8 will start, and Al will tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I think the quarterfinals will be starting tomorrow in the USBF trials to determine the USA 2 open team for the draw.
Correct. And again, it's 2 days, 120 boards.
And 2 of the teams that we haven't seen playing today will be joining us in the quarterfinals. So both the Nickel team had a bye and the Leverwitz team had a bye. And they will be joining as the 1 and 2 seeds in the quarterfinals. And then the 6 winners of the matches today will be the other 6 teams. And remind me, Al, do you know who the USA 1 team is?
That's the
Yeah, you
Spectre.
had to do that to me, didn't you?
It's the Spectre team. They won last year, beating
Spectre.
Nickel
Yeah,
in the
Spectre.
last quarter.
Yeah. So the Spectre team's already off to Morocco later this year, and the winner of these trials will be the 2nd USA team.
I'll take a short break and be back before the last ones.
Sure.
Well, Bramley certainly kicked into gear. They ended up winning by 70.
Yeah,
No.
so that was the match that we started
By
off
8,
watching.
yeah, by 86 actually.
Wow. Yeah, so for those of you who've been watching the whole stream,
71 to 24 set.
okay, looks like they had a very nice finish to their set after we stopped watching, because it looked like they were ahead by so much that the match was not going to be close. So, yeah, unfortunately,
both of those
there were no really close
teams
matches.
were playing four-handed.
Yeah, right. So they've definitely got a long tournament ahead of them, playing every single set. It'd be quite a grueling experience, playing, you know, knockout matches, playing all the boards, those sets off. Sometimes it feels like you get up, you play bridge the whole day, you go to bed, and then do the same thing the next day. It can be quite a grueling experience.
Especially
Anyway,
if you dream about bridge when you're asleep.
yeah. So on the hand, we're watching, obviously, the player is going to make their 3 diamonds contract. They're trying to engineer some sort of end play here, but they're going to lose spade and 2 clubs to make 3. It'll be a flat board, and we'll have 2 boards to score. And yeah, so getting back to the discussion of the trials, yeah, the 4-handed teams will be a lot of bridge, especially for those who, you know, make it quite far in the event and then get knocked out and then have to play in another you know, another category, I mean, trial for the open and then having missed out trial for the seniors. All right, so this hand here, there's a lot of action going on. North south looks like they can make 4 spades, losing a heart and a diamond and a trump because they break badly. They can also make 5 diamonds, just losing a heart and the king of diamonds. But as we saw at the other table, North opens 2 clubs, game forcing, and East has a 17 count, you know, 8 playing trick hand. Quite an unusual position to be in. So on this board at the other table, East-West managed to get to 5 clubs that were doubled for 1 down, which was obviously quite good because it was a sacrifice against both 4 spades and 5 diamonds. So North-South's goal on this hand is to reach 4 spades or 5 diamonds and make their contract. They can do that, they'll win a swing. So we'll see. I certainly think East is going to bid something here. You know, East is doubled, presumably showing clubs. The downside of doubling instead of bidding 3 clubs is that instead of taking away room from the option, you actually give the opponents more room. Might have been a good idea to bid 3 clubs instead to, you know, to show that, well, basically to take away room from the option. But we'll see what happens here. The double hasn't taken away any bidding space, so North-South should be able to start showing their suits, which will be nice for them. So the other table on this hand, it went past 2 clubs. East bid 3 clubs, South passed, West up the ante with 4 clubs, North bid 4 spades, and East bid 5 clubs. And they got doubled, but 5 clubs only went 1 down. Here, the auction's taken a much more placid start to the auction with a double, described as not in the notes, but intended as clubs. Don't know that that's going to convince West to do anything, and this may well be quite a low auction to begin with without the preemption. So, but what do you think, Sataj, about doubling versus, you know, doing something else on the East hand?
Well, I think it's best to bid your clubs to start with and then see what happens. But perhaps East is a bit worried that if he overcalls, say, 3 clubs, you know, this is not the sort of hand partner will envision him to hold. So perhaps he's intending to double and then bid clubs to emphasize that he has more than just a hand, more than just a club overcall in terms of his high card strength.
Yeah, he does have an unusually strong hand, given the position of a 2 club game forcing auction opening. Plus, you know, he has 17 points. Kind of would never expect that.
You know, he's sort of
yeah.
expecting some action at the 2 level by the opponents that he will get a chance to bid 3 clubs the next time. So, you know, it's a reasonable expectation that doesn't play out very well here. But, you know, yeah. Yeah.
I guess the downside of that is you might not like the opponents getting to describe their hands at the 2 level. If you bid 3 clubs, they at least have some preemptive value, and then might find it harder for the opponents to find their best fit. So as happened at the other room, it went pass, 2 clubs by North, 3 clubs by East. pass by south, 4 clubs by west, and north bid 4 spades. North-south never found their diamond fit. And then when east bid 5 clubs, it was impossible for either of them to continue on to 5 diamonds and bid the suit for the first time at the 5 level, even though they could make it. And if North-south had bid to 5 spades, they would have gone down because they've got a trump loser in spades. So yeah, the benefit of bidding 3 clubs there was that it stopped the opponents from ever finding their diamond fit, which was actually, the par contract on this hand is for North-south to bid 5 diamonds over 5 clubs. It's not very reasonable to expect East-West to dive in 6 clubs over that, even though it's only 300. So sort of the best practical result is for North-south to play in 5 diamonds if the opponents bid to 5 clubs. Of course, the more room you give them on this hand, the more likely they are to find those diamonds.
All very good points. All very good points.
Spoiler if I mentioned what happened on board 60 in the Bramley match.
Sure.
Yeah, go for it.
Is this the hand with Queen 10-9 to 6 hearts? Is that the board 60?
Yes, it is. Well, Kit opened the West hand with 3 diamonds.
Uh-huh.
So that really stuck it to them.
Right. Well, he's
We were
dealer.
all concerned about what to do
Dealer.
over a third seat 2 spades. We
Yeah,
never thought
right.
about a first seat 3 diamonds.
Right. Right.
It's funny looking at the hand now, like it seems like a pretty obvious 3 diamond bid to me. I don't know whether that just means I'm more aggressive than the players we've been watching, but favorable vulnerability, 7 card suit, why wouldn't you? But it gave Max, who was south, a pretty awkward problem because he had king doubled in of diamonds. And so he was worried that when his partner, he doubled, his partner bid 3 hearts, he was worried that a lead was coming through the king X of diamonds and that he was going to lose ace queen of diamonds over him. This option here is timing out quite funny that North is getting to bid 2 spades and now 3 diamonds, and now they've found their diamond bit. So exactly what I was sort of predicting has come to happen, but probably for the first time in this 2-hour stream that we've had, that doubling has given the opponents enough room to find their diamond bit.
Yep. Yep. So South would probably raise diamonds now, and North can bid 4 spades to play. And if East-West bid 5 clubs, then perhaps they can, North-South can scramble back to 5 diamonds.
Yeah. And if you observe the auction from North's point of view, the interference has actually made the hand very easy to bid. Double pass to you, you get to bid 2 spades. 3 clubs pass to you, you get to bid 3 diamonds. Like you're getting to show all your suits. The auction's not getting too high, and the opponent's bidding is not making your life any difficult at all, any more difficult. So yeah, I think this is a good advertisement for bidding your long suits rather than, and bidding a bit more assertive with the East hand, bidding 3 clubs the first time rather than doubling. If East had bid 3 clubs, it would have gone past 3 spades, or even past 4 clubs, 4 spades, and the chance of North-South finding a diamond that would have been not very high. So 4 hearts has been alerted. We're going to find out what it means. Apparently it means key card. He's not going to find out about any key cards. So then we'll have a decision about whether he's going to try 6 diamonds or not. I guess he won't, because he'll be thinking he'll be missing the ace of hearts and the king of diamonds.
Yeah, I sort of forgot that North hand's so strong when partner raises diamonds that you consider even something like king 4th diamond or king 5th diamond slam has lots of play. Yeah, back to your point, I think I like a 3 club overcall by East, and then they can come back with a double on the next round to try and show a hand that has a lot more potential than a typical 3-club overcall.
I think that, you know, if East's goal was to double, to show clubs, and then bid clubs again to rebid them to try and show that they had more constructive strength, I'm not sure that's the right plan, because the opponents have told you that they're going to play game, and they're probably going to play game in spades. That's what they've sort of said when they open 2 clubs. The most likely hand that North has is a very strong playing strength hand with spades.
Yeah, that's
And,
true.
You know, trying to
You
have a
just
constructive
give
option
them
against them.
Yeah, you just give them room to maneuver. It accomplishes nothing.
Exactly, and as it happened here, where
Partner's
North
never
South,
going to be bidding clubs.
so I think if East was trying to show that they had a good hand, I think that was a bit misguided, because it's not your hand, and partner doesn't have anything anyway, so they're not going to help you out. You sort of know the partner has nothing.
One point we should make is that the 2-club openers here aren't always game forcing. They can stop in 2 no trump. They can stop in 3 of a major.
Right. So if South also had nothing and partner had nothing, then they might be playing a pass. Anyway, they reached 5 diamonds.
Whoa. That's it's a bit dangerous.
Crossing with the spade.
Right, because if diamonds are 3-1, you're in a bit of trouble here, that it loses to the king and they play another club. Oh, no, right. I suppose you're intending to cash the diamond, rough a spade, pull the trump. It's just a bit.
Yeah, I gotta say, playing a spade to the jack also feels a little bit wrong to me. Like, why are we taking these finesses when we can pretty much count 11 tricks if we just draw trumps?
Yes, maybe he was worried about playing a big diamond from hand, that the diamonds were king third onside. So if you rough the club, play the queen of diamonds from hand, that seems like a pretty good line.
Yeah, I've got to say,
Diamonds
like,
are 4-0, unless they're 4-0, yeah.
or that the opponents can get a heart rough, which they hadn't organized yet, and then you lose the king of diamonds, the ace of hearts, and a heart rough.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway, he's managed to make his contract, so this will be a swing to Goodman to close the gap a little bit. Of course, they're still trailing by 46 and a bit imps, and there's only 1 board to play, so we know that Goose won the match, but let's see what they do on the last board. At the other table on this board, the auction started pass, 2 spades, 3 no trumps, and North didn't bid, and they ended up missing their slam. 6 hearts is a pretty good contract. Now, actually, I will admit that when I saw Kit open 3 diamonds, I thought he had 7 of them, which he doesn't. He's just got a pile of rubbish. And probably in this field, I would imagine that Kit would be one of the few players to open 3 diamonds. Yeah. What do you think, Sataj? Would it be your style to open 3 diamonds in this hand?
Yeah, I like to open when I'm dealer favorable, even
There's
with,
no chance.
with not very much.
Open player?
Yeah, I would open 3 diamonds only at this vulnerability and this position.
They do have a bit of a safety valve in that 3 diamonds is not only a preempt, but it's a weak preempt. They have an opening 2 spade bid to show a good 3 diamond preempt.
Right, that definitely makes it more appealing. Of 3 diamonds, you know, your partner not only, you know, knows you're preempting, but you're also not looking for a game, and they're not going to go and bid 3 no trumps with some unsuitable hand. I wonder whether North's considering opening a week 2. That will certainly get South's heart rate going.
Yeah, but I doubt that very much. It's red against white. You're in second chair. It's the one time that we,
Yeah, I doubt it as well. What do you think about this hand where dealer, dealer and vulnerable? Would you have some time for a 2-heart opening, or would you be also passing?
You've touched a raw nerve there, Liam. For many years, I have basically been almost never preempting when I'm vulnerable. But I'm trying to open more now. I'm trying to just sort of get more with the modern times. I feel like I'm a dinosaur.
Or it's the Italian blood in you.
Maybe it's the Italian blood, but you know, the Italian blood is probably not a
Nothing to brag about.
well, in a bridge sense, in the bridge context, it's not very good lineage to have in a way.
Right. But historically, their vulnerable preempts are extremely rare.
Yeah. You know, I had a hand in America, the last US Nationals, where I had some hand like 3 low, king third, ace jack fourth, ace jack third. And we were red against white, and my partner opened 2 hearts. And the next guy said double. And, you know, to my way of thinking, my partner has ace, queen, 10, 9 to 6 hearts. So I thought, well, if I bet 3 no trump, we'd make 6 hearts, 2 aces, 8, and rate to make 1 trick here or there. Probably partner has some queen, and I'll make a trick. You know, I felt like 4 hearts wouldn't have any play, and I bet 2 hearts, double 3 no trump, despite holding 3 small spades. And I remember at the end of the hand, we were playing Thomas Bassis, and he saw my hand. He said, "You had 3 small," in his French accent, which I wish I could do. You know, "You had 3 small spades. You, you know, you bet 3 no trump." Yeah, but partner actually had, you know, some hand like ace and 1, jack 10, 9, 6th, king 4th, singleton, which, you know, I accept is a 2 hearts opening, even red against white, but wasn't really my cup of tea. But I'm trying to bid more. So I don't know, maybe check with me in a couple of years' time, Liam. What do you think? Would you consider opening the north hand 2 hearts at a different position, vulnerable?
I mean, it's a pretty bad hand, but I'm sort of being swayed by queen, 10, 9, 8. And obviously also, if you're thinking about preempting, I think the singleton spade is quite an appealing holding, because it's likely that the opponents, you know, it's their hand to play in spades. And if you preempt, you might cause a problem for them. If you swapped, for example, the diamonds and the spades, and you had queen, third spade and a little diamond, then to me it would be not a very good idea to open 2 hearts.
Well, I do feel like if you're going to open 2 hearts, open 2 hearts. You're going to pass, you pass. But this, you know, taking a long time and passing on a hand like this, I'm not sure. This
I'm
is how
thinking
big
that North
play.
maybe is not at the table, or maybe, yeah, I imagine North would not think for a long time before they made their decision here. So I'm guessing that there's either something gone wrong with the technology, or North is taking a bathroom break or something. Yeah, I agree. It's a pretty strange. Just think for 2 minutes and then pass, because your partner knows that you were thinking about doing something.
Or think for a long time and open 2 hearts, then partner knows that you don't really have, you know, ace, queen, 10, 9, 6th.
I've got to get going in a couple of minutes, so we'll see if he opens the bidding anytime soon. Otherwise, I'll have to back.
Yeah, fair enough.
But anyway, it's been good fun, and yeah, I mean, good luck to all the players who are still in the tournament, who won their matches today. The 6 winning teams. So I think I'm correct. Yeah, so Nickel and Lebowitz got the bye, and the other winning teams were Fleischer, Rosenthal, Bramley, Levine. It looks like yeah, the Simpson and yeah, and the match we're watching. Go. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks very much, Sataj, for joining me. Thanks, Al. Doesn't look like we're getting much action here on a north hand, so I'll never get to see whether they bid their slam or not. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. And
Okay.
yeah.
See you, Liam.
Well, Well done, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Al. Thanks for the page. See ya.
Well, this is weird. Historically, at this hotel, when things were being done with BBO, there were frequent occurrences of problems with the LAN inside the hotel. The router couldn't handle it, or so there were network issues. I don't know if that has the same potential to affect Lovebridge or not.
Force, then it's definitely not a forcing pass. What forcing pass?
So looks like there's
Interesting.
some sort of a problem with the technology here. And so I think given that the match is over, I might pack
Oh.
up as well. Well done to the GU team and good luck to everybody tomorrow. See you, Al.
Yeah, I mean, remember this, the VUGRAPH delay was 30 minutes, so they had actually finished real play a long time ago. It's
Yeah,
just a
sure.
question of what really happened on this board.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll see you later, Al.
Thanks again.
So tomorrow it's 10 a.m. Central Time, or the broadcast starts at 10:30 probably. Is that right?
Play starts at 10:30 Central Time.
Yes.
So yeah, a half hour delay. So it's 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern, 9:30 where I live.
Same as today.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be the same schedule for the rest of this event. The only time that it may be different, well, is the first day for the women. The first day for mixed, the first day for the seniors are round robins. So the schedule's completely different.
Okay. Yeah, we may end the broadcast here then. All the other
That makes
matches,
sense.
all the matches are decided.
Yeah,
And
that
we are
makes
set.
sense.
All right. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Hope to see you more in the coming weeks.
Thanks a lot, Brett.
Yeah, thank you.